Today I'm going to be re-examining lack and just revisiting that topic and how you can realize I am enough and I lack nothing. And that statement, I lack nothing, seems unworkable and impossible to someone who is always feeling like they need more in order to do incredible things. But it is nothing that we lack. So, if you're interested in solving this unworkable existential thing, stick around. Something quite difficult for the ego to understand is the truth. I lack nothing. And it's like the sweetest, most comforting serum in the universe to realize that it wasn't resources that you were missing. See, it's never about that, but resourcefulness. And the creative mind, which is not the creative mind, it's the creative spirit. The creative spirit is creamed, squeezed. Socrates put it this way. He said, need will be our greatest creator. And you've been there. We saw extreme examples of this during COVID when people were all locked up thinking, oh man, this sucks. And then your creative people were like, goody, 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 let me see what I can do to be creative. And so creativity flourished when everybody was all down and out about being locked up. So you got this impression that you got the haves and the have-nots. But creative people have learned to understand the principle of affluence. That's abundance. Affluence means flow. And that flow, that creative flow or that creative juice is extracted in times of critical need. And you've seen examples of this. There's heroic feats of people jumping into icy rivers that they have no business surviving to jump in to save a small child, or elderly women lifting up cars off their husband because he was trapped underneath it changing a tire. That kind of power in critical need is unleashed in the individual who begins to recognize how to walk towards what looks like dwindling resource. If you want to understand the power of abundance, you have to start stripping out your comforts, the things you think you need. Our comforts are what spoil us. And to be spoiled is to cut off the creative flow. And it was Seneca who said that being poor It's not about having little, but about craving more. And this is what the ego does. It makes you believe that you need more before you can ever do anything or be anybody or have any kind of creative mojo. You need the resources before you become resourceful. And you see, this is where we have it wrong. You become resourceful, and that creates resources. That gives you the power to extend yourself with tools. Most people want a bunch of tools and they don't know how to use them. But the resourceful one begins their bare hands, their voice, whatever. And they're not limited because they're alive. They can do it themselves. And so your cars, your bank accounts, your home, whatever it is an extension of your resourcefulness. That's all. So it looks like people have stuff, but they're not. They are that, you see. So your bank account, your supplies, your tools, your instruments are an extension of you. In the same way that your car is an extension of your legs. Or an airplane is an extension of your car. It's just you. You become the airplane when you fly it. Or, in my case, musical instruments are an extension of me, you see. I play the musical instrument. The musical instrument itself really doesn't have much bearing on the quality of my work. See, realizing that you're the resourceful one means that you have the power to make more out of what you have already. It's the person who stretches the budget. It's the person who comes up with something fun to do during a pandemic. It's the person who goes into the kitchen and whips up a gourmet meal where most people would have walked out and said, "You don't have anything to eat." Abundance is about making the most out of every moment. And that's what it means to live on the precipice of a miracle. Precipice comes from the word like edge, but it also is related to the word precipitation. So everything you need is already in the air to make it rain. All the moisture is there. It's invisible. So in the moment of critical need, the moisture is extracted by an orchestration of patterns. Updraft, heat, increase in humidity, and then all of a sudden, locally, it rains. And it seems like a miracle. Because one realizes that creative energy, that juice, is like salt in water or moisture in water. Or as Jesus put it, yeast worked through the dough. And you're never without it. You just can't see it. You can't see the manifestation of that vapor there with you. And so that means all the dollars you'll ever need are in the air. All the resources you need are here in the creative spirit. Unfortunately, we have misinterpreted the teachings. The Buddha called this lack, he called it dukkha. And some people say dukkha is that life is suffering, but it's not. It's just an unsatisfactory, heavy, this sucks kind of approach to life. Oh man, I don't have enough. I'm screwed. That the circumstances seem lacking, and so you have this heaviness as to how can I have more so I can do more. That's dukkha. Jesus called it poor in spirit. And so, traditionally, there are some Christians who say it's a sin to be rich. You know, material wealth is sinful. We should renounce the material world. And I say bullshit. The material world is benign. It's neutral. So having a bunch of money or a big house or a boat or a plane or God knows what. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what it is. If you're gonna call someone on the carpet and say, being rich is a sin, if you really examine the teachings and what the Buddha was saying, you could say, well, being poor is a sin. Being poor in spirit, meaning you don't recognize your creative resourcefulness. And you keep thinking, I say you, most people, think they need tools before they do anything. When everything you ever wanted was an extension of your bare hands and your creative mind. You see, like a car is an extension of your legs. So how do we increase our legs? We appreciate them in the same way that a house appreciates in value. This house I've been living in for going on 12 years now. No, 11 years. Has doubled in value. And I didn't even do anything. I appreciated it, but it appreciates, you see. It appreciates itself. And so if you apply this model to your legs, I appreciate my legs. Oh, I love my legs. And you use them and you are grateful for them and you run and you walk and you use your, fucking legs, then maybe a car will appear. If you use your creative mind, the tools that you need to extend them will appear to you. So that's being good steward of the raw material. Most people do not appreciate the raw material, which is existence. Material world is an extension of existence. And you have everything you need to exist. Arguably, someone can say with basic needs, contentment is it. That's it. If you want to extend basic needs, you can. Appreciate them. Appreciate the food. Appreciate the air. Appreciate the water. Appreciate the electricity. Appreciate the warmth. Appreciate the sweaters on a cold day. Appreciate them. Multiply them. And the creative spirit will begin to awaken in you when you are put in a clampy situation where you don't have anything. So you have a reaction. You can say, uh-oh, I'm screwed. That's opulence, believe it or not. Uh-oh. That moment of slack-jawed, holy shit. Or you can walk into the Taj Mahal and see opulence like, wow. Both of those moments are speechless. One is, uh-oh. The other one is, wow. Either way, you're dumbfounded. And if you're looking at opulence like the Taj Mahal or the Notre Dame Cathedral or just nature, you're overwhelmed at how abundant she is. When you think you're screwed, you look within and ideas start flourishing. If you don't if you stay petrified like, uh-oh, or wait, hold on, uh-oh, oh, I can stretch the budget. I have a little more time. Let me sleep on it. Let me go back into the cupboard and see if maybe I can whip up something. This is the creative spirit. Everybody comes to these moments of crisis and they go, oh man, uh-oh, what are we going to do? And so they sit around and scroll on their phone while the creative types get busy. They roll up their sleeves and what can we do to entertain people while they're all down and out? So creativity flourishes in a drought. But nobody wants to put themselves in a drought. I remember when I got off the social media, it was an existential crisis. 10 years ago, I was thinking, oh, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, do I really want to get this up? Uh-oh. Of course you do. Of course you want to quit that job before you have the money. Of course you want to leave that relationship before you have a secure place to go. Of course you want to be plopped into any location on the earth so that your resourcefulness will awaken. And you realize it's always there. I can put you on a desert island and you know exactly what to do. You would not go to church and pray. You wouldn't go to a bank. You wouldn't go be looking for an ATM, I promise you. You wouldn't go on a desert island searching for an ATM. You would begin to find wonderful ways to prepare all the fish that are all around you. The moisture's in the air. You would look for a home, a cave, a already built thing. You improve it. You'd use your hands, make some tools. And your resourcefulness would extend on the island. Once you got your basic needs, you'd start entertaining yourself. You'd write stories. You'd play games with yourself. You'd find a way to play chess with yourself. You would find ways to improve your health, start exercising, entertain yourself. And that's what this is. It's morale boosting. When your circumstances start dwindling and things start to get messy and you're just like, oh man, that, they say the tough get going, you will get going. You just don't believe it. You don't believe that if your bank account got wiped out, and that's just one of many examples, you were suddenly single or all the things you thought you depended on collapsed. Be grateful. See, that's one of the secrets of the loaves and fishes miracle. Jesus was handed over 2 loaves and 3 fishes, I think. And he had 5,000 people to feed. And he didn't go, oh man, this sucks. 2 loaves and 3 fishes? What the fuck am I supposed to do with this? You know what he did? He said thank you. To the Father, to himself. Which is what we can do. We can say thank you. That the Father, the universe, the master of ingenuity is in us working. Your higher self, your creative mind, your creative mojo is working. And it works best under pressure. With nothing. So you lack nothing because you've never explored having nothing. Nobody is brave enough to give it all away to see if they can attract it again. With their bare hands. No tools necessary. Money's a tool. A house is a tool. It's all extensions of you. It'll come right back to you. If it's lost. In better forms. And just keep multiplying with just the raw material of existence. You. Which means I am enough. I'm enough. Just me. And I think just me as a person, as an individual, as anybody on the planet, you are more than enough. You see, that's the key. You start locally. With the body. This wonderful being you are. Your hands will do it. Your voice will do it. Your creative mojo will do it. And you will be given extensions. Should you need to travel, you'll be given the tools to travel. Should you need to entertain crowds of people, you will be given the home to do so, the facility to do so. Should you see, manifestation is about becoming that. It's extensions of the raw material resourcefulness. Exercise it. Get rid of your vices, your comforts. It is in a comfort zone that creativity dies. If creativity dies in a comfort zone. I'm sure I'm not the only one who said that. I probably picked that up somewhere. But it's this dukkha. I have to have more before I do anything. That's that heaviness that you schlep around with. Get rid of the resources and become the resourceful one and lack disappears. And you realize, I don't need anything. I am the needless one. And everything that's added to me is an extension of who I already am. Whole, complete, resourceful, excited, affluent, flow. Because I am enough. And you are too. Thank you for watching my channel. I hope that these insights have been edifying. Please go to my blog, mymorningmotivator.com, or check out one of my books on Amazon. See you soon.